leftists are jealous that they are the ones, the populists are the one who are shaking up the establishment, and some leftists think that, oh, it's good, things will collapse, so there will be a knee down and so on. It's not only the supporters of the right-wing populism that legitimize and publicize right-wing populist leaders. It's also the cynical leftists who say, oh, that's good. They're having this establishment is having its share now. Somebody's finally doing it. But then they would be the first ones, as it happened in Turkey, to be imprisoned, to be oppressed, to be called traitors, which started happening in this country, I think. There's nothing wrong with the left. There's something wrong with the last decades. I think the leftist ideology or leftist politicians were cut from their main arteries, which was being in communication, in contact, and together with the poor or the underclass. This was the mistake. That's why they became like avocado, fair trade avocado, mushy. And then they became this kind of privileged class. And I'm speaking about this very, very comfortably because I was kind of there as well. So, although I was criticizing this, I was in it. When you cut your ties with real people, as right-wing populists would say, anyone can break you. You don't even need anybody to break you. You go like, mea culpa. In order to get rid of that, you have to go through, you have to go back to the heart of the masses. I myself feel it. It feels like, you're cut from the nourishment, the channels of nourishment. And I always tell people, especially young people, you're not doing this politics for, rescuing the poor or helping them. Second, you're not trying to, bring them up. You're trying to elevate yourself up, in fact, because it is good for your soul. It's not that important to them. But it's very important to you because you will remember the joy of being humankind. This is why we are doing these things, actually, because it's joyful. One of the things that you feel when an autocrat takes over your country, you start losing your faith in humankind. And that is a very dangerous thing to feel because you start losing faith in yourself as well. But then there comes a time one remembers that one of the best ways to resist this is to keep the joy. I'm not talking about laughing, I'm not talking about political humor, I'm not talking about entertainment, and I am definitely not talking about mocking the right-wing populist leaders. There's a lot about that in the book, and that sarcasm and how it serves the right-wing populist movements. I think I removed the excess of emotions that I was having, because they don't deserve my emotions. Emotions are quite precious things. Excess of emotions is quite confusing in these times, in these, at these turning points of history. So we have to be a little bit cold-blooded when it comes to thinking about right-wing populism. We have to be using our minds rather than our hearts. I think one of the things that we should be doing when we feel devastated, paralyzed, confused and desperate, is to remember how capable we are of creating beauty. And if we forget that, and if we give in to the game that's playing around us, we lose faith in ourselves, and that's the end of the game before the end of the game.